Hi everyone, it's your friend Robin, and today I have a pressing topic on whether we should be flying or not during this pandemic. So, many of you might be thinking of flying, or maybe you know somebody, your friends or relative that needs to fly. So, now we come to this point where we need to understand the pros and cons of flying right now. And to better understand the situation, let's educate ourselves. So I've gathered some resources for you to help you decide this. And these are the resources from different sources on internet and some of the advice that is given by epidemiologists and other information from different sites. Okay. So I'll be putting the link in the description of all these articles which I've gone through for this talk. And I hope you find this useful. So, the first thing which I have found common everywhere is if flying right now can be avoided, that would be the nicest thing to do. So, I know you must be thinking that if you have to fly, you can't really avoid it, right? But if you are flying for a shorter distance, it is better to go for your own vehicle. I mean, you can drive. That would be still better because then you can control your exposure and you can stop the exposure that can happen on board. So this is one thing that you can do. But let's say if you need to fly and that's really important for you right now, then in that case, you have to first thoroughly go through the different airlines and the airlines which you are going to choose for your flight. Okay, because many different airlines are coming up with different measures to cut down on the exposure and to reduce the risk of infection of COVID-19. Okay, so once you have decided that you need to fly, you need to decide on the airlines and also go through the websites, the governmental websites, to see if there are any new changes or advances that has happened recently. And the one thing, if you're flying for a longer distance, it is advisable to go for multiple flights, the connecting flights, because in that case you'll be reducing the risk of being in a flight, being exposed with other people for a longer period of time, which might have a infected person on board. So when you go for multiple flights, you can reduce that exposure, longer exposure, and also you will go through different screening at every new flight. So this is one thing which you can opt for. And second, which I was just saying, that go through the websites of these airlines, and many airlines these days are providing different measures, and they are also keeping the middle rows empty so that they can maintain social distancing in the aircraft. And many of these airlines are also equipped with HEPA filters, which filters the air, the cabin air, which can be very useful in this case. So once you have decided on these things, now there is one more thing which you can do. If you are a frequent traveler, and if you can switch to business class as compared to the economical class, that would be again beneficial, because then you'll be reducing the exposure with other people, and also you'll have a lot of space for yourself as well, so that you do not be in close proximity with other people. Then after all this, if that is not possible for you, and if you can only have an economical flight, then in that case opt for a window seat, because window seat will cut down on your exposure to almost half, because on one side you'll just have a wall, and it will also reduce the chances of contamination or infection because of the people walking down on the aisle, and it's relatively safer. And other thing which I have found that even though many airlines are providing their own amenity kits, which has different sanitization wipes and other things which you might require, like masks and all, but it's still better to carry your own sanitizer with you. If you don't find soap and water, then 60% ethanol, at least 60% ethanol is good enough to sterilize your hands while you are traveling and going through different screen checks and on board. And in case if you do not if you are not allowed to have a sanitizer with yourself, and if you don't find any, then you can do one thing. You can just use a cloth and dip it in the bleach solution. For that, you can use 1 spoonful of bleach and put it in 4 cups of water, and then make your own bleach solution. You can soak the cloth in the bleach solution and keep it in a ziploc with yourself. So while you are on board, you can wipe the things which you are going to touch, like your seat belt, the buckle, and the armrest, and maybe um, uh, the side of the window, which if you are sitting on the window seat. So this will be definitely useful. And also you need to wear your mask all the time while you are going through different screening procedures. And it's again, one more tip here is you can carry more bags, like you can carry more number of ziplocs. So after you have gone through the screening checks, you can keep those items which have been touched by other people, like your boarding pass, maybe your passport and everything, and you can keep this now in a separate ziploc bag after you sterilize these things. Okay. And try to maintain distance from other people, and because some airlines do have this measure that they are keeping the 6 feet distance on the aircraft. So if you can go for these kind of airlines, I think that would work in your favor. We cannot really reduce, like completely eliminate the chance of infection, but we can definitely reduce it by practicing personal hygiene and taking care of other people also. And you have to also make sure that you are feeling fine before do you decide to fly, because most of the time these people will be screening at the airport for your temperature. And if anybody is having temperature more than 100-degree Fahrenheit, then that person might not be allowed on a few airlines. So you need to check that whether you have, and there will be some screening that will happen on the airport where they'll ask you about your health, whether you have felt any symptoms lately of COVID-19. So there are these are some of the tips which can help you, and I'll share a few more with that can also be helpful in this situation. That you can also try to you make use of any travel insurance which you have that might cover such kind of epidemic situations, where you can get benefits of these travel grants, travel insurance. And if it is allowed, then you need to be hydrated in the while on flight, because the cabin air is dry, and generally it dries out your mucosal membrane, which again increases the risk of infection. So you need to cover your eyes. Maybe you can wear your goggles, or a few airlines are also providing face shield. So you need to make sure that you're feeling confident with the measures they have taken. So I think or if you're not feeling comfortable, you can bring your own glasses and your own mask and everything. So I think this will help. This will definitely help. And because many people are not traveling frequently, there's a heightened risk. So the the possibility of transmission will be low, because there will be very less people on board. So if it is really urgent for you to fly, it's not a very dreaded situation, but definitely the precautions have to be taken. Otherwise, you can increase the chances of contamination. And also, you need to take care of your own health and the health of other people. Always follow personal hygiene and basic hygiene. So I hope these tips were beneficial, and if you like them, and if you have any more interesting tip which you would like to share with us so that it can help other people who are thinking of flying, any tip or any flying experience which you want to share, or any information which I failed to cover in this talk, please write to us in the comment section. I think that this will be wonderful, because this is really a challenging time for all of us, and I hope we all can help each other with our own experiences. So if you liked it, please like it, share it, and subscribe with your friends who are planning to travel, and include any more information if you have. I hope it was interesting. Thank you so much. I had a wonderful time talking to you. We'll meet again. Bye bye.